Hello everyone, I'm Mike Gibson and this is the new edition of the programme Moscow Mosaic. Several times in our programmes we have told you all about the visits of the Russian capital to the United Arab Emirates. But today the Emirates have arrived here in Moscow and we'll show you what has been happening. So stay tuned. On today's programme, traditional jewellery, a wedding ceremony and exotic dishes. How the days of culture of the United Arab Emirates took place in Moscow.
It is very important for us that the Russian people get to know our culture better and communicate with our people.
How Moscow and Abu Dhabi are establishing successful and mutually beneficial cooperation.
And it affects various fields, namely the development of transport infrastructure, education and healthcare. This also concerns the opportunity for interaction in the sphere of high technology.
Arabic dance lessons in the center of Russia's capital.
Come with
Okay.
1, 2.
1.
Yes, like that. Perfect.
In early July, the Days of Culture of the United Arab Emirates were held in the center of Moscow on Mosaic Square. This is a great opportunity to get acquainted with the traditions and customs of the UAE without leaving the capital of Russia. The organizers have prepared a rich program. I'm sure there is so much to see here. So let's go and take a look. The United Arab Emirates Days of Culture were held for the first time in the heart of Moscow, just a few meters from the Kremlin. This large-scale event was organized by the UAE Embassy in the Russian capital and the Moscow government, with the support of the Ministry of Culture and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Russian Federation.
I am pleased to welcome you to the opening of the Days of Culture of the United Arab Emirates in Moscow. Cooperation between our countries in the field of culture is based on a solid foundation of mutual respect and a careful attitude towards the preservation of the cultural heritage and spiritual values of our people. For many of us, the Emirates is a rapidly evolving model of a multi-faith, self-confident society. A country that is ready to be friends with those who are open to this friendship. And of course, Russia is among them. Culture is the bridge that carries us into the future. It is the language that unites us and transcends borders.
Mr. Mohammed Ahmed Sultan Essa Al-Jaber, ambassador of the United Arab Emirates to the Russian Federation, emphasized the special role of cultural diplomacy for closer ties between the two nations.
In my opinion, culture is the main bridge to reconciling relations between the two peoples. And for this, we have worked very hard to hold such a large-scale event in the center of Moscow. It is very important for us that the Russian people get to know our culture better, communicate with our people, and of course, that they feel like they are in the Emirates.
A delegation of more than 120 people from the United Arab Emirates flew to Moscow to participate in the Days of Culture. For 5 days, in the center of the Russian capital, Mosaic Square was the setting for an Arab holiday filled with national melodies, rituals, and aromas. One of the main events of the festival is a special wedding show. The ceremony takes place to the sound of traditional music and is accompanied by special dances. Let's go take a look. A traditional Arab marriage ceremony is like a colourful performance. Each day, festival guests were shown wedding rituals of different ethnic groups living in the desert or mountainous regions of the Emirates.
The marriage ceremony includes 3 stages. The first is matchmaking, when the groom's family chooses a future wife. As a rule, the newlyweds should not see each other. and therefore the bride's relatives are visited by the groom's parents. At this meeting, a preliminary agreement on the forthcoming marriage is concluded. Next, an engagement follows. The third stage is called the meksa. This is when the groom's relatives bring gifts to the bride.
The culmination of the marriage ceremony, the wedding itself, as is customary at any celebration, is accompanied by music. National Arab musical instruments are played, songs are sung, and the guests dance. Men and women, however, celebrate the wedding separately. This is one of the main differences between an Arab wedding and a traditional Russian wedding. During the UAE Days of Culture in Moscow, a real Arab beauty centre was set up on Manège Square. Women here could try on smart national dresses or, for example, decorate themselves with traditional patterns. And here they prepare henna according to an old traditional recipe.
The Arabs brought the heat to Moscow for us, and we are very grateful for that. It is very interesting to watch national dances, weddings, and I know that they're showing birthdays here. I love it.
You can drink coffee, you can watch dances. It's amazing.
We really like it here. We are very glad that such a beautiful country has come to visit us. It's truly wonderful. We are going there in winter, and in summer they have come to us. It's so cool. We've drawn some beautiful tattoos on ourselves.
Today, one of the key areas of cooperation between Russia and the United Arab Emirates is tourism. In 2023 alone, more than 42,000 travellers from the UAE visited Moscow, which is 8 times more than in the previous year. According to experts, the trend will continue in early 2024. Moscow remains an important tourist destination for guests from other countries as well. Tourists from China, India, CIS countries and the Middle East come to the capital.
I am sure that when residents and citizens of the Arab Emirates will see how hospitable and friendly Moscow is, how multifaceted and open to the perception of friendly cultures it is, they will be able to make the decision to visit the city of Moscow.
The Days of Culture of the United Arab Emirates in Moscow have become part of a large cycle of events within the framework of bilateral cooperation between the countries. For example, in 2023, a delegation of the Moscow city government headed by Sergei Cheromin, head of the city's Department for External Economic and International Relations, took part in the AIM Global International Investment Congress held in Abu Dhabi. At this forum, new areas of work between the Moscow city government and the capital of the United Arab Emirates were discussed during business meetings.
We and our partners discussed the possibility of cooperation in the field of higher education. And today, we have a solid example of this cooperation. The university Synergy has opened a branch in Dubai where close to 200 students are already in full-time study. Based on both the assumptions and forecasts at Synergy, their numbers are only set to grow further. And all these are examples displaying the adaptation of technologies in Russia and Moscow. Many companies have localized their presence here on the territory of the UAE. New logistics chains are being constructed. The Arab Emirates organically complement our long-term project on the construction of a transport corridor from the north to south, which would connect the Baltic ports and central regions of Russia with India, Iran, and the countries of the Middle East. That's why I am full of optimism when looking at the possibilities of developing cooperation between our countries and between Moscow and different emirates.
Moscow and Abu Dhabi share long-standing and strong economic ties. Over the past 5 years, the volume of UAE investments in Russia has grown 4.4 times. In turn, Moscow business is also increasing its cooperation with the Emirates. According to the results of 2022, the total turnover of Moscow companies and enterprises that import or export goods from the UAE amounted to more than $2 billion.
We are also considering the possibility of coordinating on an international level. In 2019, an agreement was signed to pledge cooperation between the Moscow government and the Abu Dhabi City Council. And naturally, this affects various fields, namely the development of transport infrastructure, education, and healthcare. This also concerns the opportunity for interaction in other spheres, such as the sphere of high technology. Abu Dhabi is, without a doubt, witnessing a considerably rapid development in technoparks and industrial clusters where startups are present.
Following the conclusion of the AIM Global 2023 International Investment Congress, a delegation from the United Arab Emirates arrived in the Russian Federation to participate in the St. Petersburg International Economic Forum. The UAE acted as a guest country and became one of the largest delegations of the forum. A rich business program awaited the participants. One of the main and expected events was the meeting between Presidents Vladimir Putin and Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan.
The Business Council actively supports the development of our relations. We have presented the projects that we are implementing. First of all, our industrial hub, which is aimed at supporting and developing companies and at the development of relations with the UAE. We see an opportunity to develop and create an IT hub. And of course, the creation of a cultural center will be extremely important for everyone involved, because it is true that not only the economy, but also culture, ties, and relations should bring the two countries closer together.
The Days of Culture of the United Arab Emirates in Moscow immediately caught the attention of locals and visitors to the capital. On the first day, more than 40,000 people attended the festival site.
We would like to bring a piece of our culture here to Moscow. Of course, this strengthens our relationship. Such a festival, such an event, and the government of Moscow and the government of the Emirates are located in the very heart of Moscow. We are very pleased to provide the friendly Russian people with the opportunity to get acquainted with the cultural heritage of the UAE, as well as to plunge into our rich cultural environment. We are also committed to strengthening and expanding cultural exchange between our two countries. And I must say that I am sure that this event here will make a great contribution to the further interaction of cultural exchange between our two countries.
Throughout the holiday, artists from the popular Arabic musical groups Al Ataiba and Al Mazoud brought a special atmosphere to Manège Square. The men, dressed in traditional national attire, performed the Al Ayala dance using a bamboo cane.
Emirati art is in fact a cultural heritage that identifies the culture of the people with all its features. We reflect the UAE's identities through our performances and national costumes. The stick is an important part in performing the dance, and when the entire group is arranged in a single line, it symbolizes strength, unity, and mutual support. When members of the group perform individually, it shows courage and strength.
Naturally, I couldn't miss such an opportunity and asked the artist for a masterclass.
After when you need dancing, you go with me. Come with me.
Okay.
1,
2, 1.
Yes, like that. Perfect.
1, 2.
Yes.
1.
After that, you remove
2.
my hand.
Right.
And you walk with me.
Like this, yeah. That was my first Arabic dance, and I really loved it. Thank you.
Shukran.
Shukran.
Shukran. Shukran.
Especially for the festival, Said, a poet and musician, wrote a song on behalf of the Embassy of the United Arab Emirates in Moscow to express gratitude to the President of the Russian Federation and the Russian people for their warmth and hospitality. The song was well received by Muscovites and became the unofficial anthem of the UAE's Days of Culture in Moscow.
I live in Moscow, but I have never been to the United Arab Emirates. Therefore, for me to see all this is really impressive. We came in from that side and we came across the Arab dancing first. I mean, it's actually fascinating. You watch these actions and it seems to put you into some kind of meditative state. It actually is a wonderful festival. This is a very big festival, very nice, beautiful and cultural. Here you can show our Arab culture to the Russian people. Arabic coffee is free here. There are also clothes, designers, and they showed how they dance. Honestly, it's really cool.
It's very nice to mix a culture that, like a culture from other country, came to Russia, and there is not like a problem with it. This is the most important thing now.
What impressed me the most were the national costumes and their clothes. If I'm honest, I imagine these people to be a little different, more private, shall we say, yes. But honestly, they are very open people, friendly, smiling. It is a very beautiful festival. It reflects the culture of the Emirates and shows how developed the Arab countries are. I think such events will be very good and ultimately strengthen relations between these two countries.
The skills of traditional needlework have been passed down through generations in the UAE. At the festival fair, you can buy unique handmade products or even try to create your own. Anyone who wants to can take part in a masterclass, and I'm going to try too. The masters of the Sharjah Institute for Heritage have come to Moscow to introduce Russian people to the folk crafts of their emirate. One example is the use of dried palm stems in everyday life.
We take the stem of a palm tree, dry it, and paint it with natural materials. And then we make bags, baskets, hot plates, and many other things out of them. We take practically everything from the palm tree to eat, to produce materials for daily use.
And here, guests of the festival can try traditional Arabic dishes and drinks. Very tasty. Great.
That's for you, my friend.
Right, shukran. Great.
It's very delicious.
It's good. I really love coffee, especially Arab coffee, which has a very special taste, and there are lots of spices in it. And here, Arab women are preparing a dish called lukamadez. In the Emirates, lukamadas are prepared on special occasions such as weddings. It is a ball of yeast dough that is deep fried with the addition of various spices and flavors. Thank you so much. Right. Normally, lukamadez are covered with honey or with sugar syrup. That was really tasty, and they actually taste very much like Russian ponchiki. Today, the United Arab Emirates is one of Russia's major economic partners, not only in the Middle East, but also across Russia. An example of successful and beneficial cooperation between Moscow and the UAE was the visit of a Russian delegation to Dubai in December 2023, led by the Minister of the Government of Moscow and head of the Department for External Economic and International Relations of Moscow, Sergei Cheromin. A significant event on the agenda was a meeting with the Director General of the Dubai municipality.
Very good morning.
How are you?
Fine,
Nice to see you again.
At a meeting with the Director General of the municipality, Sergei Cheromin noted that Dubai is one of the most dynamically developing cities today, not only in the region, but also in the world. It demonstrates an innovative approach in various areas, including urban planning, which has a lot in common with Moscow. Both cities have great potential for creating joint projects and initiatives.
At a meeting with the Dubai mayor, we offered to develop and sign a cooperation program between the two megacities. This program would cover everything, from transport and tourism to the social sphere to healthcare and education. Because Dubai is also a shining example of a place that is carefully considerate of residents and the preservation of social and inter-ethnic culture.
Also, during the visit to Dubai, the Moscow delegation attended the international exhibition Big Five Global for the first time in 2023. At the event, a cooperation agreement was signed between the Department for External Economic and International Relations of Moscow and representatives from the AIM Global Investment Congress.
We have a very strong collaboration with Moscow City, with the support of His Excellency the Minister Sergei, and that led to great collaboration with different entities in Moscow, different entities in Russia as a whole. We are trying now to collaborate more in terms of initiatives in technological projects, technical and technology transformation, innovation in different sectors, especially on future cities and smart cities initiatives, which are basically, environmental or social or economic impacts on the society.
The media plays an important role in strengthening and promoting relations between friendly nations. The TV channel Big Asia, which broadcasts our program, regularly covers events related to Russian-Emirati cooperation. In 2024, the channel served as the official information partner for the AIM Global International Investment Congress in Abu Dhabi. And in April, a corresponding agreement was signed. In May, the production team for our program visited the capital of the UAE and in a special edition reported on one of the major business events in the Middle East, the AIM Congress. The rich program over the Days of Culture of the United Arab Emirates in Moscow, which featured colourful performances and masterclasses on Manejna Square, was enhanced with fashion shows by Emirati designers.
What we are showing during these 5 days is that all these collections, all our designers, they are very authentic, very bright, very brilliant. I think it's visible to the naked eye from afar. We have tried to make the show as bright as possible, so it all looks as elegant as possible in this hot summer sun, as beautiful and impressive as possible.
The guests of the festival were introduced to the traditional craft of embroidery called tali, which originated in the Persian Gulf region. In 2022, UNESCO included tali embroidery in their list of intangible cultural heritage, recognizing its significance. Previously, threads for tali were made from real gold or silver, making it a luxurious embroidery used for important events such as weddings. However, nowadays, precious metals are rarely used in tali, and the most popular colors used are the colors of the UAE flag: black, green, red, and white.
Tali is a legacy passed down by our ancestors, used by all generations in our country. We wanted to document this in UNESCO as a women's profession that has existed for a long time and continues to exist today. And this mask, an element of the national costume, reflects the modesty of a woman and also serves as an ornament.
The organization of the Days of Culture of the United Arab Emirates in Moscow was a significant step in strengthening and promoting Russian-Emirati cultural ties. The event attracted more than 300,000 visitors. According to the organizers, one of the main outcomes of this festival was the increased interest of citizens from both countries in learning about each other's cultures.
I am sure that we will develop and expand our cooperation. And I mean not only in the field of culture, but naturally also in all areas of cooperation between our two countries and between the embassy and the government of Moscow.
The days of culture of the United Arab Emirates have come to an end, but Russia's cooperation with this country will continue, and we will definitely tell you all about it in our coming programs. You have been watching Moscow Mosaic. I'm Mike Gibson. See you soon. Bye.